23 September 2020, and I'm joined by Mr. Khaliphani Phugeni, spokesman for the MDCT. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. How are you, sir? And good evening to the viewers at home, and good morning to those in the other continents.
Okay, fantastic. So I hope that today we have better luck, because last week we failed to finish our discussion because of the network.
Yeah.
So I want us to pick up where we left off. I asked you a question. If in December, the MDCT is going to be contesting the by-elections using the name MDC Alliance.
It's a strategical choice on our part. I think you'll remember what I said to you. I said to you the MDC Alliance was launched by the president, our late president, Dr. Morgan Tsvangirai. I think it's August 2017. And we launched that specifically for electoral purposes, that we use it when we are contesting elections. So it should come as no surprise to anyone, even in this by-election, if we decide that this instrument is the right one to go. It worked for us fine last time around. So I would think that even this time around, we would have no problems in using the same.
Okay, so the question that arises is, how is it going to work if the MDC Alliance also wants to use the same name?
No, they don't have that option. I think I've been telling you, it's just that maybe you don't take it serious, or maybe our interviews are too long, so you miss some of the things. I've been saying it on this platform. I've been saying it on different interviews, press conferences which I've held at Harvest House or Morgan Richard Tsvangirai House, that very soon we will protect the infringement that they've been doing to all our rights. That includes the name, that includes our regalia, our slogan, and many things that they have been really piggybacking, trying to get mileage out of us. Also, the long arm of the law is going to catch up with them, and I think it has caught up with them, and you will see us acting very decisively in protecting that agreement, because first of all, I'm sure you would have seen that something is happening with regards to the Harare mayor issue. Because there is that agreement, which you know, that says a party that recalls, it's the one that then fills up that vacancy which would have risen as a result. So you will see us acting very decisively and strongly to protect our intellectual property, as it were.
Okay, now that you have raised the issues of the councillors, what is happening with Mayor Jacob Mafumi?
No, look, I really can't comment, because there's something happening there with his party, which is our alliance partner. So we are not in the business really of speaking about our alliance partners. I think they are very much capable to supervise or to preside over their issues. The agreement says they retain their independence and their individuality. They retain their identity. They retain the right to recall and deploy. So it will be really mischief to try and comment. We are sitting there, and we are also observing. I'm sure that if there was a need or if there was an alarm, they would have spoken to us about, but I doubt that the situation is beyond their control.
Okay. I just wanted to seek clarity, because to me, yesterday I saw a Herald an article in the Herald, which said the party or the faction led by Lucia Matibenga has recalled Mayor Jacob Maffume, when we know very well that that faction was not in the alliance?
No, you err because you speak with so much confidence on matters that you are not well versed on. Remember that the PDP went and, in fact, they negotiated and joined the alliance. And in that August, they signed the alliance agreement. It was after the signing of that agreement that the PDP then fired BT and others. But it has not changed that by the time he joined our alliance and signed, he committed the party because he was acting in his capacity as the president at the time. So when you fire a president, you do not get to undo everything which he did when he was a bona fide president. So that's the mistake that you are making. So who's supposed to lead, who's what, and whatsoever, they will have to go to court, the aggrieved parties. Just like in our case, you too long, you guys sat there with an imposter as a president and the mafia running the affairs of the MDCT. But as I've said, the long arm of the law caught up with them, and sanity is almost restored. We're working hard, tirelessly. I've just come back from a standing committee meeting, which we started in the morning, and we finished this evening. We're working hard, trying to fix what was broken over a period of 2 years by the imposter and his gang.
Okay, I think that is answered. And I'm happy because I'm going to be talking to the people from the PDP faction led by Lucia Matibenga within the next few days. I've already made the arrangements. So now let's go to the people that you actually control. Let's go to the vice president of MDC Alliance. She's still sitting as an MP, not recalled. Let's look at people like Joanna Mamombe. They're not recalled, but they openly support Chamisa. Is action going to be taken? And is this action going to be consistent?
Okay, if you are looking for consistency, you will get consistency from me. I will not comment about Honorable Mamombe. And I've told you the reason. We know that currently she's not feeling well. There is no way I will ever comment on her in any shape or form, especially on the matters which you are raising. So forget it, my friend. It will not happen. I will not comment about her. Suffice to say, if you are saying she must be fired, she's not going anywhere.
Okay.
If there's anything that she needs right now, wait. If there's anything that she needs right now, is our messages of courage and hope and encouragement, messages that wish her well soon. That's the character and the nature of the MDC. So I'm consistent in that. I am not going to comment about her, but I think once I say I'm not going to comment about Honorable Mamombe, then you think that anytime we're going to do the job, she's not going anywhere. She is not well. We are not in the business of adding pressure on people that already need our solidarity, and they need our well wishes. They need our love and care. And she is that person right now. That is what she needs. So no, you can rest easily. Maybe let me give you a direct answer. No, she's not going anywhere. Just cut it out.
Okay, then let's go to Karenyi Kore, Job Scala. These people have openly said they don't support the MDCT. Why are they still there?
Okay, again, you get consistency from me. Remember, I don't speak on individuals. I speak on a principle. And this is what we have already told you, that we go on a case-by-case basis. And so to the extent that there are certain cases which you know very well and we haven't yet gotten to them, maybe let me say to you, just watch the space. But you know the principle. If you declare or if you support another party, you have automatically expelled yourself. That principle stands, and that principle will prevail with every one of us.
Okay, so obviously we talk every week, and I'll be looking forward to see the developments. And I know everyone here wants to know when these recalls are going to be finished, because it's draining to people who support you guys, people who are in the alliance. People want to know, they want to see progress, because it seems like not much is happening except the recalling. Is there anything else happening besides recalling?
No, but you are making a mistake, and I think you are looking for answers from the wrong people. I have told you over and over again, this is not what we want to do. This is not our business. We're not interested in this. But in line with the national constitution, once somebody ceases to belong to a party that forwarded them to parliament, they cannot retain their positions there. So I gave you an example of Kwanda last time I was in your show, that I went and I spoke to all 6 of them, and they all pledged allegiance. When I left there, you had the mayor behaving in a manner that was untenable. So there was nothing we could do, but we've been long suffering. We've been patient because we want to prioritize service delivery. And as I always give you this example, there were people dying in Luveve when the administration was under the imposter leadership. There were people dying, and the accusation pointed at the city council. When Dr. Khuphe came on board, she discharged a special task team. She called the presidential task team. And I was part of that task team. We met the people in Luveve. We met the mayor and his team. We sent the mayor and his team to Luveve. And you know, as of today, and this you cannot take it away. It doesn't matter whatever propaganda people want to run. This you cannot take it away, that the previous administration had dying like flies in Luveve. This current administration of Dr. Khuphe, it dealt with the situation. It went to Luveve. It listened to the residents there. It intervened in a manner that has brought the death to an end. You can't take that away. So if you are saying there's nothing that is happening, I don't know what you're talking about. I really have no clue of what you're talking about. A lot that is happening. But again, we're living under lockdown conditions. So I understand when you're saying there's nothing that is happening. Otherwise, you don't see rallies, you don't see all of those other things. There's a lot that is happening. You will see very soon, especially with the Harare Council. You will see a lot of movement there that we are doing. The residents are going to thank us, as I've said in our last interview. It may not be now, but they're going to thank us because we mean business. We have got KPIs, indicators that we are setting up for our public deployees, and we expect them to meet those KPIs, and they'll be clear. The residents will know what we're talking about, and you will see just this afternoon for your own information. I spoke to the leader of our caucus in Harare and I said to him, but tell me, what is this issue with the water in Harare? Because there are suburbs here that have never had water for quite a long time. There are suburbs here that have not had water for about 15 years. And he told me that our dam is downstream. Yet these suburbs are up. So we don't have capacity to pump water upstream. So basically what we are doing is we are doing something with regards to making sure that there is another dam that can pump to those suburbs that are upstream. Now, this is some of the things. There are a lot of things, and I spoke to him about a lot of leakages as far as water is concerned. There are a lot of people that are stealing water, and that affects rates and taxes for other people. And we're going to do something about that. And I told him that I have a way how we can intervene here and do a EPCD. But I agree, maybe what you are saying is we haven't been coming a lot on information and publicity. Maybe that's something that we need to check it out. But we've just come in, guys. Rome was not built in a day. We've just come in. We've got the extraordinary Congress in our hands. There's just so much to deal with in a short space of time. But I understand we are victims of our own success because other people can see the progress we're making and they're expecting more. They can see the integrity and they're expecting that at least for once, these people will deal with this corruption that had taken hold of our councils. We're going to deal, by the way, with the issue, the scandals of stands. We're going to deal with that. Just watch the space there. These councillors that we recalled, we told you we are serious about corruption. It does not end there from the recalls. We are going to have an open process that the country will see, will submit the report to everyone that is willing to see the report, and it will be to governmental bodies to take up whatever needs to be taken up after the report has been out, because it doesn't end up by calling. There's been a scandal of houses. There are people who've been on a housing list since 1980. Those people don't have housing, but you find people being sold stands, 5,000, 6,000 stands to one individual or two individuals or three individuals. And those people, when they've got those stands and they build their houses, they do not accommodate these people on the waiting list. Whereas as a government of the city, we have a mandate to make sure that the residents of the city get affordable housing. That's our mandate. That's what we're elected to do. So we're going to look into all those things. Just watch the space. It may take long, unfortunately, but we have just come in. It's hardly 6 months.
Okay. I'm happy with that answer. And I think we should move away from that topic. People are happy with the way you have responded. Let's go to the next controversial statement that happened this week. The chairman, Morgan Komichi, he came out and said Dr. Khuphe is no longer in Polad. She does not have the mandate to be in Polad. Is that the position of the party?
No, look, I think I have addressed this matter over and over again with you and your listeners. I understand the fixation from a lot of people with Polad, and they will be forgiven. But for the avoidance of doubt, Polad is not a gathering of political parties. Polad is a gathering of presidential candidates. And I've told you over and over again that Dr. Khuphe is not at Polad because she's seized with the EOC, which the Supreme Court ordered. It did not suggest, it ordered. So she's busy with that. And she had to suspend her participation at Polad. But she's a full member of Polad. Until further notice, she will communicate herself, or myself in my capacity as a spokesman, I'll communicate that. So I do not think that, because I didn't hear, so I'm just answering you, not specific to the chairperson. I'm just answering you in general. I've said this without anyone commenting about it. I've told you that she's a member. She's seized with the EOC. And I want you to know that in terms of our constitution, she is answerable to Congress. That's very, very important. But we are supervised, all of us, by her. So I think you understand where I'm going with this. But your answer, to answer you direct, not related to what this official might have said. Dr. Khuphe is a member of Polad. She's seized with the EOC in line with the order from the Supreme Court. And her not participating currently is because she's seized with the EOC and making sure that she brings the party up together and clean up the mess that was left for her. But I understand the fixation, but no, there's never been a discussion of does the party allow you this, doesn't the party allow you that? No. Polad is a gathering of presidential candidates. If you had run for the presidency in 2018, you would have had an invitation, an open invitation yourself. That's why you see all the time people keep on saying, but MC must just pay a visit there and change whatever he wants to change about Polad from in there, because at least he's a presidential candidate. So you don't necessarily need a party. You know, there are some of these candidates that never had a party. Somebody just woke up and decided to run. They are there.
Okay. I think that also is well answered. And then I want us to go to the call by Dr. Khuphe. My understanding of that call was that she said the GNU solved many problems. And she asked President Mnangagwa to take Zimbabweans back to a period when there was a solution, which was the period of a GNU. Am I correct in my interpretation?
No, thank you. Thank you for that disclaimer. And thank you for the humility to at least ask for clarification and see if your understanding is correct. It's the inference that you made of her statement. This was her statement, is that people have had good days during the GNU, Mr. President. And right now, people are suffering. You can see it from their eyes. We see poverty, and she actually underscored this poverty, poverty, poverty. And she said, Mr. President, can you please take us back to those good days? Now, I understand why you will think GNU, because remember, even the former governor of the Reserve Bank, and I'm sorry to use such a strong term, that evil man, the former governor, Mr. Kono. Never mind what they did with Mr. Khuphe, public relations exercise, an interview. And all of a sudden, the man was offered to us as if he was our savior, as if Mugabe held him at gunpoint, like be the governor or else. Make no mistake, Kabakwe. Outside Mugabe, there is no man who destroyed our lives and our livelihood and destroyed this country outside Mugabe than that man Kono. So there is nothing to admire about that man. He is evil. I know personally families that he destroyed, people's savings that were wiped. Their kids could not go and study overseas anymore. People couldn't finish up their projects which they wanted as a result of that man. So you can't tell me as if a gun was put on him to tell him, you stay in this job and do all those quasi-fiscal activities which he did, which basically destroyed this country. If he wants a reference of what an honorable and a decent person does under those circumstances, he needs to look no further than Dr. Nkosana Moyo. There's a man called Dr. Nkosana Moyo. When things were not going in the manner that they should go, because he's a decent man, he stood down from that government. So no, Kono is a very, very evil man. But there's only one thing which I agree with him, which he said, oh, by the way, what he was doing there in that PR exercise disguised as an interview, he just wants to come back. He just wants to come back into politics. I think it's ZANU politics and probably succeed President Mnangagwa, or you had to make reference that he's got relationship with the military. So you get your cue there, what he's trying to do. But this is one thing I agree. He says the best days this country has had in our recent history is the GNU. He says it was a coalition of what? Of the different or something of that sort of the opposite. Yeah, you know. So basically, I understand why you feel that Dr. Khuphe was calling for the GNU. But no, Dr. Khuphe was calling for President Mnangagwa to give the people of Zimbabwe a better life. Whatever it takes. That's basically what she was saying. Says, President, do whatever it takes. Our people deserve better.
Okay. I don't totally agree, because the statements were said together. If you take what she said together, do you want me to play maybe the interview, the statement for you?
No, you can't play me the statements of Dr. Khuphe because remember, I'm a spokesperson. So there's no way she would make a statement which shocks me, for starters, number one. Number two, there's no way I'll come to this interview and I do not know what my president said. I'm her spokesperson. I know everything she said. I'm saying to you, she said, when we look at, he said, when I look at your faces, I see poverty, poverty, poverty. That's what she said. And she said, President Mnangagwa, please, our people are demanding better lives. Our people are demanding, and she listed that, and she says, our people want you to take them back to those glorious days. That's basically what she said. Now, the point that she was making is that as a government, we have an obligation or a duty towards our people. That's the point that she was making. And she was appealing to the powers that be, that you ought to do whatever it takes to take our people back to those glorious days.
Okay, so I take your statement and I take your position that this was not a call for a GNU, but a call for solutions. So let's move on to the next thing, which is the replacement of recalled councillors and MPs. Has that happened?
Well, the councillors, as you know, it's a by-election process. So that's a process that is completely beyond us. So it's we really waiting for the by-elections. Same with the constituency MPs. You'll have to wait for election. The process with the senators and the PR members of parliament, you know that there were names which have already been gazetted that were submitted by our party. I interview with you over the names. So you know that the MTC Alliance went and fetched objections, which I don't even think that is provided for in the Constitution. I think you don't go and people and say, have an objection. You know, there must be an objection, a genuine objection, not to go and fetch for it. But anyway, you know, they've since submitted, I understand it's 10,000, although they say it's 300,000, but I understand it's 10,000 of those objections. So I would presume or assume that ZEC is busy going through those objections, and then in due time, they will be able to announce either way.
Okay, I think you've answered my question there on partially, but the process of selecting the MPs, the councillors and the senators, has that been publicized so that members know who's going to be taking what position?
No, because remember that that's a process of primaries. We have a process which we call primaries. So that's an internal matter which the party doesn't struggle with. So they will give us a template on how they are going to go about that. So before that happens, no, there is no alarm. You shouldn't worry. I mean, December is quite far away. We will get started with our process. And remember, there's COVID as well. At least the government has now relaxed to 100, but we haven't heard the president pronounce himself on political gatherings. Remember, he said they remain banned. So we haven't heard him pronounce himself on those ones. But no, there's ISIS there. If there's going to be by-elections, we're not going to be the only party affected. The parties will be affected. So, in due course, we will fix this. Okay,
then let's go to more Boys Munet's question. When is the extraordinary Congress?
The Supreme Court is sitting next week on Thursday, the 1st of October. It's my birthday, by the way, next week, Thursday, the 1st of October. I'm hoping that if the borders will be open, I'll get the opportunity to go outside and celebrate my birthday, but I just have to be in that court. So I'll be at the Supreme Court. That's when we'll get the guidance as in when we can hold our extraordinary Congress. And unfortunately, it's out of our hands.
Okay, so there's a possibility that they could push forward the extraordinary Congress at the Supreme Court.
We will be guided by the courts. There is no point in me preempting them just a week away. It's just 7 days to go. We will all know. The good thing is that they are going to determine this next week on Thursday. So it's not like we're going to go and have oral arguments or oral presentations and then wait. No, they are listening to our oral presentations, and then they are making a determination on the very same day.
Okay, then my very last question is to do with the elections on the by-elections on 5 December. What is the process for selecting candidates? Is there going to be, can I go as an MDC team member, can I come and put my name in, or there are people who can qualify? Who qualifies?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that there is a template, and that template not yet been devised. But ordinarily, you must have served for a certain period of time and certain, maybe depending with what you are running for. But there will be a template in due time, like I've said. Our members know how this process normally pans out.
Okay, so I'm going to go now to one question that was asked as a comment, which is what will happen to MDCT alliance structures in the diaspora?
Well, the MDCT structures in the diaspora, they remain intact. And of course, you know that there are some who still begging to appreciate the Supreme Court judgment. And let me tell you what is the problem there. Remember, Professor Moyo said, no, not Professor Moyo, sorry. Professor Khuphe said that judgment is a dud. That's what he said. And I think it was a month or so down the line, NC then tweeted and taking the same interview which Prof. Khuphe had done with Zenzele, our good friend from site, saying, I'm happy to lead such people with clarity. You know, I really laughed when I saw that. I said, you call clarity. You can't call a Supreme Court judgment a dud. You can't do that. And you're a professor of law. You really can't do that if you appreciate what is a Supreme Court. If you really understand the Supreme Court does not give orders which are useless. And so they have not appreciated. But maybe just for the sake of legal education that we always do here, that judgment does not affect only MDC, by the way. It affects ZANU-PF. It affects all political parties in this country. So basically what I'm saying is that this ZANU president that people always want to take out by hook or crook or whichever way, depending why they are frustrated with him or think maybe a coup can happen again, that judgment stops all of that. Because that judgment says, in the final analysis, they were ordering AEBCD not only for MDCT internal governance, but it is for governance political parties in the country in general. So it covers political parties. That judgment was not a dud. That judgment was tight. That judgment was serious. And it's unfortunate that others are taking this long to appreciate what that judgment means. That is why today, when our Senator Comich mentioned on Saturday that we are going after our name alliance, they are surprised because our agreement says the president of the MDCT by default is the president of the alliance. So when that judgment removed the NC as this imposter president of the MDCT, it also removed him as the imposter president of the alliance. You see, so that's how much that judgment is not a dud. That judgment was far-reaching, and it had far-reaching consequences. So the sooner people appreciate that, the better for them, because I think, BP tablets, I think the price is just going to go high now when people begin to fully apprehend the consequences of that judgment.
Okay, Mr. Khaliphani Phugeni, spokesman for the MDCT, and I really enjoy talking to you all the time because I know I get the real answer. And it's not an assumption. When you tell me something, if for your own information, you told me about Tendai Beauty's recall almost at the beginning of this process of the Supreme Court, and it's happening. So I really believe that you know what's happening, and I'm very thankful that you are coming here to talk to everyone here. So as usual, I want to end with a nice comment for you, and this is from, I think, Mr. Tumlindo. I'm sorry for messing up your name. Mr. Phugeni, thank you very much for being principled. We are very much behind you as sensible heads. This is what an opposition should look like, and we value mature politics. So this is what your favorite people are saying about you. You've got a lot of good comments here, although the diaspora people are saying they will never support you.
Okay.
So what are you going to do? For example, here in South Africa, we've got a chairman that has openly said they support Nelson Chamisa.
No, it's okay. By the way, I'm not shocked by that, because remember, these people are not falling from Mars or from somewhere else, because you need to appreciate what we're dealing with here. When NC announced his ascendancy to power, his violent ascendance to power, he wanted to ban in a heart Dr. Monzora, Dr. Khuphe, Chief Ndlovu, Alfred Ncube. I can't remember the other people that were in that house that he wanted to ban. And this is common knowledge to anyone. The heart is there in Puera. You can go see it when Dr. Khuphe and others went to Ambuya there. They went and then they spent time, there are pictures there in that heart because it's special, it's sentimental to her, because that heart saved her and her friends. But what did the voters do? The voters rewarded that. So you are dealing with a sick society. You are dealing with a sick society that says, we don't care the tribalism, we don't care the reference to Kukraund, we don't care even the action of wanting to do it again so that you ascend into political power. So this Mkabe thing that we went through for 37 years, by the way, this young man, he's so charismatic and charming, he can do it, it's fine, you know. So basically, in this country, we do not link our actions and the way how leadership treats us. I'll give you a perfect example. In America, in 2016, you know that they made a big mistake, in my view. They voted a xenophobic man, a bigoted man, but they fixed that in 2018. And you can see that they are on their way of finally settling this issue. That is why you see all the actions of making sure that the mail is frustrated there so that people can't vote. That's why you see all the actions of making sure that people either choose to go and sacrifice their lives so that they can remove a thoroughly disqualified man. So you can see that these are citizens who own up to what they have done and they need to fix it. So in Zimbabwe, there's no logic to our actions. If we love somebody, it doesn't matter. He can do as he pleases. He can do like a child. There are no consequences. He can bury people in a heart. It's fine. He can insult. You know what happened? The men, we were followed in Bulawayo. Stones rained on us for 3 hours. They hit an 80-year-old man with a brick. And the doctor said, if you were 5 minutes late, this man was going to die. By the way, when you come into this country eventually, I'm going to take you to Pumuda to see that 80-year-old man. That was the work of NC, his supporters, on his behalf. So this nation said, no, we don't care, we don't matter, that doesn't matter. It matters not to us. So don't think I'll be surprised by someone declaring that I will always support this person. Remember, birds of the same feather flock together. Show me your friends, I'll tell you your character. So that's why when you guys cry and want the ANC and want the envoys to come here, and they come here, and then when they get out, there's no crisis. You must understand. Because when they are shown those things, what do you think is going to happen? Because you are crying, you are saying this person who was cheated, there were 2-3 people who were beaten there, there is so-and-so who's in jail. And then they are shown videos of people wanting to burn a heart with several people inside there for a certain person to be president. What do you think is going to happen to reasonable and logical people? You think they are going to say there's a crisis? They know who is creating the crisis. So I just want you to have a perspective of where I'm operating from. You see, I'm not operating on this mob psychology. The mob psychology is one thing where people just get too excited. You spend all of your money with women and drinking, and then at home, kids have nothing to eat. There's no money for school fees. There's no money for rent. That's not where I operate, my friend. I operate on logic and on reason. He can have as many unreasonable people as he wants. I'm fine with that. I just don't want a president who wants to burn people in a heart so that he assumes power. I don't want a president who throws stones and indiscriminately to people and hit an 80-year-old man almost to death. I don't want that. I want someone who comes and argues his point and win people's hearts and go there and govern on their behalf. So no, he can have as many people as he pleases. Thank you. Leave me alone. and my children, we are fine.
Right. Mr. Khaliphani Phugeni, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope that I'll be having you back before the end of the weekend so that we can continue the discussion, especially on what happens to Mayor Jacob Mafume, Tendai Biti. I think it's important. People are really waiting to see what happens with regards to that. And what next step you're going to take with the Mayor of Harare.
No, you'll have to call the PDP on his worship, Mayor Mafume and Honorable Biti, because they were deployed in Parliament via the alliance, by our alliance partners, PDP. So it will be mischievous. It will be mischievous, and it will be. I'll be thinking of myself too highly than I ought to. If I try and speak on behalf of PDP. So no, as far as they are concerned, you will have to speak to PDP. I know that they have a spokesperson. He is equally capable. So I will not speak on their behalf. But if you want to ask me about Harare, since we are the ones that are leading in that council as MDCT, or definitely I'll be willing to comment.
Right, another good comment here for Mr. Phugeni. Here in Namibia, we love you, Phugeni, and Dr. Khuphe. So I think today you're getting all-round love from a lot of people here.
It's my birthday. It's my birthday in a week's time, Baba.
Okay, so I've been asked why I don't ask people to join and ask you questions. So I'm going to offer people a chance to talk to you starting on our next call. You can call in and give Mr. Phugeni your views. And I think you'll be agreeable to that, Mr. Phugeni.
No, I wouldn't be agreeable. I'll tell you why. Unless you have a way of screening those people. I'll give you an example. You have been persuading me to put my number here, and I reluctantly agreed. And I didn't put my WhatsApp number. We spoke, me and you, for a long time until I eventually put this number on WhatsApp with your help. By and large, I'm getting a lot of people, reasonable people. You know, but once in a while, you get some clowns that want to come up with this whole hegemony mentality. You know, there's a guy in Botswana, from Botswana. He's Zimbabwean, but he's now based in Botswana. He calls himself some apostle. He comes on my phone. He imposes narratives on me. He wants us now to argue on those. Of course, I've blocked him. I've blocked other clowns as well. But I engage a lot with people. I'm not scared to engage with people, by the way. I'm sure you would have followed. There's a mother from Germany, I think it's Nomazulu. He wrote a scathing letter about Dr. Khuphe and myself, and he said, Togo Tembeni Mtaka Mama. And he said very harsh things. She reached out after I put this number, and me and her spoke, and she understood that she should have spoken to me before in that letter, because she wrote that letter on a lot of imposed assumptions about me, which were wrong. Now we are friends. Now we even talk about our children. You see, so basically the point I'm making is I don't mind to engage people who differ. But this time is so precious. There are a lot of people who are learning a lot, and I will have no time to engage people who, so maybe not now. Let's just educate the nation. Because look at our interviews. It's 44 minutes already. And data is a problem. So if you are going to bring people that are going to be like this guy who calls himself an apostle in Botswana, we are going to struggle. But you know your people. If they are mature people who want to hold my feet to the fire, who want to ask reasonable questions, maybe they must first of all text you those questions, and then you can bring them, and then we discuss over those matters. I don't mind. But no, I'm sorry to call people like this, but I'm not going to entertain clowns. I just want to engage with people who can argue their way out, and I will subject myself to their superior logic, and I hope they will also subject themselves to my superior logic.
Right, I totally agree with you. Some of the conversations might be a waste of time, and I do not want to waste your time in that way. So as time goes on, we are going to get to a point where we will be able to bring people who can talk to you, maybe at the same level with you from a different party. For example, people have been asking for Advocate Fadzai Mahere to come here and talk to you. I think that's something that we can arrange.
Yeah. No, that one is a national treasure, my friend. I'll be very happy. I think she's an awesome person. We may differ ideologically here and there, but make no mistake, that's a fine Zimbabwean. It doesn't get better than that.
People are going to start misinterpreting your intentions again.
Look, yeah. I can't help. I think we ought to see the best in people until they prove us wrong. I think she means well. I think she means well. She's just been dealt a heavy hand, but I think she means well. It's the case that she's been given. It's a bad case, but I don't think anyone will disagree with me that given a good project, she will stand there, she will defend it, she will advance it. I think she's eloquent. I think she can speak. I think she can defend her position. So yes, no, she's a fine person, and I will engage her anytime, any day.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Phugeni, and thank you very much to everyone who's watching. We've got people watching live on Facebook and also on YouTube and on gambakwe.com. So I would like to end this discussion here. Is there anything else you want to say before we close this?
No, I would like to appreciate you, the media, but largely you, because if it wasn't you who persuaded me and insisted that the world needs to see this thing which was fascinating you. I've never understood your fascination, by the way. I've really never understood it. But there is something, because now I've so many people on this very same number. You have no idea when I'm not doing party work, how many people are engaging on this thing, on constructive, on how can we rebuild our country. There is this energy that cuts across party lines. I have supporters from the Alliance, I have supporters from ZANU, I have supporters from PDP. Right now, when I was in Parliament, I just passed by Parliament and then went to the hotel to drop one of the MPs there, a Holiday Inn. I was greeted by a lot of MPs. Some of them I don't even know. Some people were going into that hotel, I don't even know them. And all they were saying, and I asked them, where do you know me from? They say, we all know you from Zimbabwe. Thank you so much. What you are doing, we like it. So I really have to thank you, my brother. We're building this country. It may not be through political positions, but what we can agree on, and I want to close by this, and this is a promise I'm making to Zimbabweans, and I hope they can make the same promise to me and to each other. I will not laugh when your end of the boat is sinking. And some people may miss it. Maybe let me even explain what I mean. I can't laugh when your end is sinking, because we're in the same boat. So sooner or later, line will be sinking. So there is only one country which we have. Really, really. That's why I have a problem with people who celebrate when the economy is not doing right, when Mtuli fails, when President Mnangagwa fails. You know, I said it in this show that I wish His Worship, Jacob Mafum, the mayor of Harare, to do well, because when he does well, Harare does well, and Harare does well, the country does well. It's the same wish I have for HE. He must do well, because if President Mnangagwa doesn't do well, this country doesn't do well, and if this country doesn't do well, you don't do well, I don't do well, our kids don't do well. So we have a country to build. Elections come and they go. You remember what happened with EFF. On their very first election, they were cheated. They found ballots thrown at the river in Alexandria. They didn't hold the whole country ransom. They said, you know what? Let's forget about this. We have a country to build. That's the attitude that I have. I may lose elections. I may be cheated in elections, which I believe I was. But I want to tell you something. I've a Zimbabwe which is more important. And right now we're in debt. What we have simply done is, before the kids are born, you know, the ones who are yet to give birth to, they are already in debt because of our recklessness. And somebody needs to change that situation. They can't be born in debt, these kids. We were not born in debt. We're not born in debt. We did not find a debt in this country, but we have already created a debt for our kids that are the ones that are here now and the ones that are yet to be born. Now, it won't take one political party. It won't take one individual. It will take all of us collectively agreeing that the future of our kids is more precious and more important than what divides us.
Right. Mr. Phugeni, perfect words, and I don't want to spoil them. Thank you very much, everyone who's watching, and good night.
Good night.